The only bridge across the Perfume River from the south bank of Huế to the north bank is by way of these flimsy pontoons. In the past few days, thousands of refugees have flocked across it, escaping from the furious battle which has turned the ancient imperial capital of Vietnam into the shattered shell of a once proud and graceful city. The city, its inner citadel, and its university are at the heart of the Vietnamese tradition, and they harbor strongly nationalist feelings. Because of this, Huế was the ideal place for the communists to make what was in essence a political move when, at the end of January, 2 regular units of North Vietnamese infantry infiltrated the city and captured the citadel. How much support they received from the population is impossible to estimate. The price of that support has been the almost total destruction of the city and the deaths of nearly 4,000 civilians.
Here at the Imperial Palace, the lily ponds are full of debris, the trees have been smashed, the gardens full of shell holes, and the courtyard here, a litter of mortar fragments, stones, bricks, all thrown all over the place. But the palace could be in worse shape. It could have been more heavily damaged, and one of the reasons for this is that the Americans and the South Vietnamese deliberately restrained from throwing everything at it as they could have done, but at a price. The cost of the Americans, 119 dead and nearly 1,000 wounded. The cost of the South Vietnamese, about 400, over 400 killed and something like 2,000 wounded.
The palace survived.
You remember, I know you went to Vietnam because, for lack of a better reason, you were forced to or you were told to go. But can you reflect back on what your attitude was going into Vietnam, and then after, y'all pulled 18 months, didn't you? We only pulled 12.
Yeah, 18 months.
Okay. So, and your attitude coming out?
What do you mean attitude?
I mean, how did you feel? A lot of people when they go into Vietnam, especially soldiers, they go in gun-ho, yeah, I'm going to go here and kick Charlie's butt and all that. And then after a while, you know, all of the speeder corps and all that macho stuff drains, and you just feel different coming out than you do going in.
No, didn't feel no different coming out of there than I did when I went there. I felt relief that I made it through that. It wasn't no so-called speeder corps type thing. Like I said, I was put in the military as an alternative to the jailhouse. So it was just, I just came from one kind of jail and went to another. That's all it was. You had to make it, you get through this. My incentive was that I was told that if I got through all of that 4 years of so-called serving my country, then my country would not seek to lock me up again for the reason why I was locked up. In other words, they took me out of there. If I made it through there and didn't get killed, didn't come back in the bag, then I could walk away from what it is that I did. But the reason why I was in jail in the first place is because this country at that time considered me something less than a lot of other people was. You understand what I'm saying? They had different rules. Like I say, all this comes down to the rules of engagement in life. I was in school and things, and people, teachers, who I would think would be above a lot of this craziness because they want to teach, but the racism and all that was in America at the time, the teachers didn't want to teach us, and they call you, how you going to teach a child anything past the day that you racially remark to them, and the racial remark that you make to them is a put down to them. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot teach that person anything anymore, because if that person has any consent, their minds closes down. So,
That's right.
for me, yeah, that was just a way to pass time and a different means toward the same end.
Well, most Americans, even if they wasn't in Vietnam or weren't involved, they heard of Hue and they heard of Hue and Khe, and those were two battles that you actually took part in, right?
No, I was in the mop-up part of Hue. Never went to the Khe. I went to Khe Sanh.
Khe Sanh. Okay, so.
But Hue was fascinating.
It's 1968.
Yeah, but here you see, it's an old place, I guess, 1,000 years old. Represented what? That was the so-called, as far as I could tell, the cultural center of that country. Beautiful place. It took us, when I came there, and they was already engaged in it. I'm trying to think now. 4 to 5 weeks or so. Well, the part I was involved in, to get them people out of there. And then when you finally into the last part and you're going around these little turns and then into these little holes and this and that, and you finally get to them, these people that was killing people from 800 to 900 yards away turned out to be young women. That right there was a big eye opener to a lot of us, because in America, not only was black people not allowed to be a first-class citizen, but women definitely wasn't in the 60s. People think, I mean, America made big strides in these things, still not the place where it needs to be. But in that country, for women to become that proficient in firearms and be willing to do what it is that they were doing, but that some of them might not have been willing. I ain't gonna say they was, because when you actually ran up on them and then they was in that little room, all their ankle was chained to the wall. Because that took away the wilderness right there. They gave them that little bag of rice and fish and so many rounds, and they told them to shoot. If I had anybody that could shoot like these people, I wouldn't chain them to no wall so they could get killed. But it also made us realize if they can afford to sacrifice these people as good as they could shoot, they must have a whole lot more that's better or as good. We are in trouble with these people. We realize right then, we are dealing with something here, just like America realizes now in Iraq and Afghanistan and them kind of places. I hope, but I don't think America realizes. I think the soldiers on the ground realize you are dealing with something that you better deal with a little differently instead of just running straight at these people and telling these people what to do. Because these people, anytime they lay down their life like that, are a force definitely to be reckoned with, and you better deal with them in a different way than you're dealing with them, or you can continue to have these kind of problems with the world. And people do not like this America that so many people loves. To me, I don't, one way or the other, I just have to live here because I was born here and deal with it. America is not all that great to me. It hasn't been in my life, and I don't see it changing so much that it's going to get that way to me. But I just have to live in this place. Better live here than some of them other places I've seen. And my choices are very limited because they won't allow me to go. You don't immigrate from America, you immigrate to this place. And I don't understand why people from anywhere else in the world want to come here. I don't understand.